I am looking out the window and it is insane. We are having a huge snowstorm right now and we are set to get about a meter of snow. So today is the perfect day to do some mending. Hello, I am a Refashionista Sheri. And if you don't know who I am here to show you how to use what you have to make what you want for free. And I have shared literally hundreds of tutorials for upcycling and refashioning just about everything in your house. So be sure to subscribe because I share new tutorials every single week. But today we're doing some mending. So grab those items that you're not wearing because they need a quick fix and let's get started. So this week I have a pile of 5 items that I am going to be mending and refashioning instead of replacing and buying something new. And let's start with these awesome tights that I have had, I don't know, for like 15 years. And they finally have blown a hole, so let's darn them. So the first thing you want to do is just flip your tights or your sock inside out, and there you can see the hole. Then you want to grab something that is hard. I just have this, I don't even know what this is from, but it was in my stash, and I'm going to put it inside my pair of tights, hopefully. And now I have easy free access to the hole here, and I don't have to worry about stitching through to the other side of the tights because this thingy, this packaging, whatever the heck this is blocking it. Now I have my hand sewing gear, and I have already pre-threaded my needle here. So I'm just going to stitch this together using, I think, just a really easy whip stitch. The first thing that I do before anything, though, is I anchor my stitch, of course. And if you're not sure about hand sewing, I highly recommend grabbing my Refashioning 101 ebook or taking my Sewing Basics course or getting my Sewing Basics ebook because everything is in there and you learn how to do all of this kind of stuff and you see how super simple this is. And like, that's it. Now I'm just going to knot this and my hole is all sealed up and I can wear my tights again. And there it is. It is so simple to just stitch the holes in your socks and your tights. There's no need to buy them new when you just blow a tiny hole. Just quickly stitch it up. You see how simple it is. And now it's time to move on to the next mend. Speaking of hand stitching, these are my comfy, cozy old slippers that unfortunately Mr. Skelly Boy got a hold of. So I'm just going to mend them here and then I don't have to buy new slippers. So for this one, you can maybe see here, I have already anchored my stitch. So I'm just going to grab this part up here with my needle that is not ripped and stitch it together. And here is a quick tip. If you are stitching something like the interior of a pair of slippers, always start with the inside and work your way out because it makes it so much easier when you are finished to tie off your stitches instead of trying to fight with everything here. Once this is stitched down, that's going to be really hard to get my fingers in there. So always start with the pickiest part so you can end with the simplest part. And you see it is totally mended now. And I love mending and sewing with fluffy, fuzzy stuff that is like faux fur because it doesn't really matter how your stitches look because they get buried in the fluffy fuzziness of the faux fur. And now my slippers are as good as new and I can wear them again. Next, we're going to shorten these trousers. I actually got these in a whole bundle of clothes, And it was very, very cheap. I think I paid $10 for like a whole bunch of clothes and a backpack and a bunch of stuff. And these are men's, but they fit me. So I'm going to wear them because who doesn't love a wonderful pair of khakis? And you know what? Men's pants always have the deepest, most wonderful pockets, 2 pockets in the front, and of course, 2 more in the back. And yeah, let's shorten these so they fit me. So the easiest thing to do is put the pants on inside out and then just fold them up to your desired length. And I just want to point something out here. Look at the length of these pockets. I said men's pants. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Look, even Skelly is shocked. Come here, bud. Skelly is shocked at how generous these pockets are compared to women. An even quicker and easier way to get your correct length is to simply grab a pair of pants or jeans or sweats or trousers that has your correct, ideal, comfortable length and place them on top of the trousers that need to be shortened. Now, you want to make sure that you have the crotch areas lined up, not the waistband, because waist heights can vary extremely between trouser styles. So you want to line up the crotch area because that is, what leads to the legs. So it's way more important than the waist. Then all you have to do is mark this area and line that up a bit better there. And then you can chop it or stitch it or however the heck you're going to shorten it. Just shorten it. With these pants, I am not sure if I'm going to want to keep them at this length or maybe lengthen them again. So I'm simply going to stitch all the way around here to create my new shortened leg hem. If you are 100% sure that you're not going to want to lengthen your trousers or jeans or whatever again, then you can chop off the excess and then stitch around to create your new hem. Once you have your first leg all stitched, then you can simply use it as the template to measure your second leg length and then go stitch that one together. And now I have 2 perfectly hemmed and shortened pant legs. In that big bag of stuff that I got those khaki pants in, there was also this shirt, which is just horrible. This print takes up most of the front, and I'm not gonna wear this. So I went in my stash and I grabbed the leftovers from my awesome patchwork bell-bottom jeans upsize. And if you missed that, I shall, as always, link it down below for you. And I think we're gonna replace this with this. So let's do it. So because I don't want to be faffing about with too much excess fabric on this, I'm just going to measure the size of this ridiculous print here. And it's 42 by 30. And now I'm going to chop this to the correct size. So I now have my t-shirt inside out, and you can see the awful huge print still through it. And like, how uncomfortable is that to wear even? This is clearly cheap fast fashion because none of the seams are even here. You can see it's all wrinkling up. So I'm going to try my best. But now we're going to grab our wonderful, lovely patchwork fabric insert and put it over top of that terrible print with the right side facing the inside, because of course we're going to chop out that print and then we're going to be left with this cool patchwork on the outside of the t-shirt. So I'm just going to pin this in place and then go stitch it on. So I just want to give a little tip here. When you are pinning on your insert fabric, make sure that you're giving yourself enough space to be able to chop out the original t-shirt print on the front. I think I'm giving myself about 1.5 centimeters here as I am pinning my fabric all the way around. So I have it all pinned on, and this is definitely a case of perfection is the enemy of good enough, but let's go stitch it on and see what the end result's going to be. my insert is stitched on. So now it's time to flip this right side out and chop out this terrible print from the front. So because I don't want there to be any chance of chopping this insert fabric, I'm going to pull it all the way out and pull out this front print. And now I'm just going to do a big chop in the front print. And now I know that I have enough space here that I can chop this out and we can see my insert fabric back there. So I'm going to go and carefully cut this out as close to my seam here as possible. And then we're going to come back and clean up the edges and it's going to be done. How much cooler does that look? And because the edges here don't look super great right now, I'm going to go over them with a tight wide zigzag, and that will reinforce my insert and also clean up these chopped edges. This is now absolutely adorable and a totally different shirt. And last but certainly not least is this absolutely awesome original German army sweater. This is super cool and super vintage, and I'm only the second owner. I actually inherited it from the original owner, but it has definitely seen better days because it is so old. It's starting to come apart and fray here. And first I thought, oh, you know what? I can just, hem that together and that's going to solve the problem. It'll be hidden. But then when I put it on, I remembered it is way too long for me. So what I'm going to do instead is simply chop this off and give it a nice clean hem. How easy is that fix? And my fabulous vintage army sweater is now definitely mended and absolutely more me because I added a groovy lettuce hem. And as you can see, that just means it's really wavy. And this is such a fun way to finish off knits. Plus, it's a lot easier than trying to keep the hem straight because knits are stretchy, right? So go with the stretch. And to achieve this, all you have to do is stitch with a tight wide zigzag and stretch the fabric as you stitch, and then when you're all done, it waves up like this and looks super adorable. So it is still snowing. It's not letting up, and I am dreading having to shovel later. But you know what? Thinking positively, it is a fabulous full body workout. And you know what else is fabulous? Those awesome tutorials that I just shared with you. Also quick, also easy. And again, if I can do this, you can do this. If I can use what I have to make what I want, you can use what you have to make what you want. And I do not want you to be listening to any of that negativity in your own head like, oh, but you can't sew and you can't because you can. I taught myself how to sew when I was 38 years old. So if I can teach myself, I can teach you. So click all those links down below. Go to refashionistasherry.com and learn with me. I don't use patterns. I can't use patterns. My brain doesn't work that way. So whatever's in here, I share. That's it. So I do things the quickest and easiest way possible. There is no need to kill yourself trying to figure out patterns or instructions or anything like that when you see how easy it is to use what you have to make what you want. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. For just 99 cents a month, you can help save a struggling refashionista. For just 99 cents a month, you can help sustain the much-needed work that goes on behind the scenes. Every thrift flip, every DIY, every upcycle, every free tutorial can only continue with your support. Join my Refashionista crew for only 99 cents a month, less than the cost of 2 bananas or a pack of gum, and help me continue teaching anyone who wants to learn how to use what they have to make what they want. Don't let affordable, sustainable DIY style become an endangered species. Join my Refashionista crew today.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.